The first thing that came into my head, as soon as I finished it, I put the last page down, I went, wow. I mean, that was honestly the first thing that came into my mind, because there were just all these like characters and all these emotions and all these feelings that just kind of build up, and you're like, yeah, you've got no way to get it out. But it's an amazing script, and there are so many twists and turns that you just do not expect at all. And it's very original, and you know, I absolutely loved it, and I had to audition for the Juan and Mia. So, you know, that was honestly the first thing that came into my mind for such an amazing script. I think you'll agree with me that, like, as soon as you read the script, it's just so gripping. And I was actually late to school because I just stayed at home and read the script all day. I didn't, but just, you know, some of the morning. And it's such a page turner. And I say this about every, like, script that I really love. If you really, really feel connected to the character and you really love a script, then chances are then you're going to perform, you know, the role as character is going to be better. It must be quite unnerving to know that where you think you are at your safest, in your own home, somebody can just access it and come inside. Must be really unnerving. It goes through 3 very different stages. At the beginning, you have, you know, happy Mia. She's relaxed. She, you know, she's everywhere she needs to be. Now she's got good friends, and she's got parents that love her and care about her, and she goes to a good school. And so she's fairly secure in the beginning, but she is just an 11-year-old child. She has her 12th birthday, and soon after that, she goes into this dark world, and she has to go through all these things. And as she goes through the story, she just sinks deeper and deeper into kind of darkness and despair, and she thinks there's just no way of getting out apart from her having to end what's going on, which is Holoface. I mean, as everybody goes through the difficult stages of, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15, then every child does change. But I think because Mia has gone through this as well, that it has strengthened the change, and it has kind of strengthened her relationship with her father and her mother, and just strengthened the whole family in a way. And I do feel like it has made her stronger, and it has matured her in a different way from maybe her friends would, and maybe it's matured her earlier than her friends would mature. So we both enjoy writing stories a lot, and we both have really big imaginations, but I'd like to think mine is a bit tamer than Mia's. I haven't quite got my nightmares to become a reality yet. I do think that a children's imagination is far bigger than an adult's, because children don't know as much as adults, so they might think that anything could happen, and then adults would know, oh no, that couldn't happen because the science of this doesn't work, or, you know, magnetic force doesn't work like that. Or children might think that people could fly, and adults would say, no, people can't fly, they don't have wings. They would have a much more limited imagination. So I do think that if any kind of nightmare would become a reality, it would be probably be a child more than it would be an adult. I don't feel like she is a victim of her father's trauma. I think that she's inherited his imagination the same way she found or inherited the story. John have a really strong relationship, which doesn't always include Mia's mother, but I think because Sue, you know, she's been a 12-year-old girl, she knows what they want, and, you know, you're always gonna have to be daddy's little girl sometime. But then I think it takes John longer to realise that for her 12th birthday she might not want a teddy bear. She might, you know, want more grown-up and adult things, which I think her mum understands more because her mum's been there, and she knows exactly what 12-year-old girls want and they need. On set, they're really good parents, and we have a laugh, and, you know, in the scene, they're both incredible actors, so it's really just easy to just feel connected to them because, you know, they're lovely people as well. But I mean, they've also been really good parents off set as well, because me and Carice are quite regular visitors to Twitter, so we go on that quite a lot. And we go out to dinner and we just have a laugh and mess around. And Clive, I've met his family, and he's got a lovely family, and he's a really lovely man, and they've just been, like, so nice to me, and they've looked out for me as well, so it's going to be sad when they leave. I think for Juan Carlos, it's not about, you know, when you hit your mark at the right time, and, you know, whether the light hits you at the right time. I mean, that's a big part of it as well, and that is important. But it's more for him you know, facial expressions and actually feeling the emotion and showing it, you know, through the ways that make you a better actress. So he says, for me, it's through my eyes. He says you show all your emotion through your eyes. But for Clive and Chris, it would be different things that they do. We talked about Mia's relationship with her mother and Mia's relationship with her father and her friends and Ella. And then we talked about, you know, maybe peer pressure and the teenage bad boy and how she thinks about things and the intention behind every single line. And we went into so much detail and taught every bit apart that it did literally just become just a part of me. And little bits of Mia, I think, will rub off on me when I leave Madrid as well.